Hello there, friends. It is Jimmy Maverick, and we are going to do a mock draft on Yahoo today, and we are going to do this on a 14-team league. All right, this is a very difficult size league to do, but I'm going to show you how you're going to win this draft, and you're going to win it using my app. Now you can see here we're going to be drafting from the 4th position, so that's kind of nice because we're going to get ourselves an elite running back. So that's great. But I'm going to show you, especially when you get into those later rounds, man, the pickings are a lot thinner when you go with a league this size, right? So we got to maximize every single pick, and we got to nail this thing in order to win the draft, and that's what our goal is today. So you can see the draft is loading. We are going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft. You can access it at my website, ffmaverick.com. You can see I'm already logged in, and when you log in, you just have to answer 3 questions, right? The first question is, how does your league score points? Yahoo is a half-point PPR mock, right? So we'll select that. And then question 2, do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? I always say yes to this. And, if you're using the free version of the app, you can also... This is the only filter you can use, but if you subscribe, you can use all the filters. I have over 30 different filters to help craft your list. But for quickness, we're going to select that for now. And then question 3, we're going to enter draft mode. And so what we have to do is we have to put in the size of the league. And in this case, it's 14 teams. And we have to put in our draft position, which is 4. We're going to go ahead and we're going to enter draft mode. All right, so it takes a little bit of time for it to process, so we're going to jump back. Draft is still loading, and we will see what's happening here. It is still compiling, but you can see here's the list of players. Here is all the position filters. So when we're looking at a certain round, if you want to look at just the wide receivers or just the tight ends or just quarterbacks, you can use these filters to utilize that. Obviously, you can see here, this is the list of players, and what I like to say is there's 4 columns that you're going to want to pay attention to, okay? The first column is the value column. That column is very important because that is based off of their projected points, which of course is calculated off of how your league scores points times their projected stats. Okay, so and you can compare this value column to the first column, which is their expected draft position. This is the best idea as to when players are coming off the board. That's very important to know in fantasy football. I like to say I am neutral on all players. Okay, there are that one player that can be a terrible choice in League A can be a fantastic choice in League B. This app is going to show you how that works, especially with the value function. So that's the first thing we look at. We want good value. Second thing we look at is outlook. Let's jump back here and see how this is coming along. Okay, so this draft is about to go. So you can see here all of these things popped up. This is each round of the draft. So we're going to select the first round here. And what we want to do is we want to get the highest draft position, the highest person possible. Now, Gurley, Bell, they will definitely be gone. Antonio Brown is the number 3, but I think if we can get him, Zeke, it's our turn, so let's see who got taken. Okay, those guys did get taken. I still want an elite running back. Let's go with David Johnson. All right, and I've got no problems taking David Johnson at this point in the draft. So let's go ahead and we'll select him. Now select. There we go. Okay, so we're on the board. It's going to be a long wait till our next pick, so we can look at this app a little bit better now. So this is every round of the draft, and what it shows here, what the players it'll show, is all the players available between your first pick and your next pick. All right, but instead of sorting them by their draft position, they're sorted by their value. All right. Now, of course, we passed up some higher value players, but like I said, I really wanted to get the elite running back. In this case, David Johnson is the best available. So he provides the best value. Alvin Kamara is sharing time with somebody, so that's why I didn't take Alvin Kamara, although I'm sure he will be a fine choice this season. But when you look at the outlook rating, this is a calculated rating. It's based off of the intangibles about that player, positive and negative criteria. Positive criteria add stars, negative criteria subtract stars, and you want 4 and 5 star players wherever you can get them. Okay, so those are the ones you want to focus on. The other 2 columns are these 2 columns on the end: consistency, reliability. Consistency is a scale of 1 to 10. You want as close to 10 as possible. Okay, reliability, you want high reliable players. I do also consider mid reliable players, but I basically completely avoid low reliability players. All right, so those are the criteria we look at. So now that we made our first selection, we're going to click to the second round. We're going to see what's available. Now this is a short turnaround, so there's not as many players, right? So this is going to be kind of easy. Now, the best value player is Stefan Diggs, who is a fine player, all right? But his outlook is not great because he just signed that massive contract extension. It really kind of took the wind out of his sails as far as I was concerned, that players that sign big contracts like he did tend to not perform as well on the upcoming season because they tend to be more concerned about not getting injured as opposed to, I need to get a big payday because it's a contract year, all right? So he only gets a 2-star outlook. But right below him, we got T.Y. Hilton, who I think would be a fantastic choice. With Andrew Luck being back, T.Y. Hilton is a wide receiver 1. I got no problem taking him even without Andrew Luck on the field. His consistency and reliability rankings are right where I want them to be, 9 high. Tyreek Hill is another player who I just love. I mean, wow, he made an incredible catch last night, an 80-yard touchdown bomb or something like that. 5-star outlook, 10 consistency, high reliability. This is the kind of guy that checks all the boxes. His value is a little bit higher than his expected draft position, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a fair value player at this point. But if you look at the bottom of the list, you'll see that there are players down here which do not offer nearly as good value relative to their draft position. These are the kind of players you want to stay away from, okay? And when you're in draft mode, again, it's sorted by value. So just look at the top of the list, avoid the players at the bottom of the list. So I think T.Y. Hilton or Tyreek Hill are our best choices here. You can see if we wanted to go running back again, we could get Joe Mixon. I think he would be a fair choice at this round. You also got players like Larry Fitzgerald, Amari Cooper, who I don't really like. So given that we did take, we got ourselves David Johnson, I think we should get ourselves a good wide receiver in the second round. We'll look at another running back in the third round since it's just a short turnaround. All right. So let us take a look. It's almost our turn. So this draft is moving along nice and quick. Look at how Rob Gronkowski is still sitting out here. That is nuts. He's probably going to be gone by the time he gets to me. Mike Evans, he would be great to get. Oh, I think we're going to have to make a last-second change here because you got to take what the draft will give you, man. I mean, there's T.Y. Hilton, right? You've got, let's see here. Oh, I think that Tyreek is gone, probably because he got that touchdown bomb last night. His ADP is moving up right now. But let's see who we end up with. I will absolutely take Evans. If we look at Evans, he should have gone in the first round, right? So if we click back to the first round, okay, it's our pick now. So if we click on wide receivers, there's a little bit of a lag going on here. Let's just jump back. Oh, okay. You know what? I don't think I can pass up Rob Gronkowski at pick number 25. David Johnson and Rob Gronkowski on our team, that's pretty darn good. So let's focus on getting a wide receiver in the third round. So this is a quick turnaround, so let's go to the third round. See what's available. Demaryius Thomas, not really thrilled with. Juju Smith-Schuster could be good. He's got upside, but his outlook just isn't that great. Fitzgerald would be good. Tate would be good. Tate and Fitzgerald are both on contract years. Tate, I think, is probably the best. 8 consistency, high reliability, value less than his expected draft position. I think that should be our focus for our first running back. And, look at this. T.Y. Hilton could fall to us. We'll see what happens here. It's only a couple of picks. So, wow. All right. Well, you know what? I love T.Y. Hilton on the prior round. I don't know what this injury designation is. I do not see an injury designation on him. I always, whenever I see that without the news thing, I always check, and I really can't find anything. But let's go ahead and we'll take T.Y. Hilton as our first wide receiver. Jordan Howard's there too. Wow, there's some good players here. I'm just going to go with T.Y. Hilton. That was the initial plan. So we've got ourselves T.Y. Hilton as our wide receiver, David Johnson as our running back, Rob Gronkowski as our tight end. We don't need to worry about tight end now for the rest of the game. So for the rest of this draft. So let's jump back. Let's go to the 4th round. And we will take a look at who is available. I certainly like the idea of taking another running back here. And, there is a great one right at the top of the list, Royce Freeman. I do very much like him as far as amongst the rookie running backs. I think he's a great choice. We do have Mark Ingram available, but I'm not real keen on taking him as our second running back, given that he has that 4-game suspension. So I'm not sure I would want to take him. Also, you got Lamar Miller, who, he's a plotter, but he is going to be the running back for Houston. D'Onta Foreman is probably not going to be ready to go back until November, and he does give you the 5-star outlook, consistency, reliability. So I do very much like going with Royce Freeman though as our first choice. We can look and see who else is available. We don't need a tight end. There's some quarterbacks going in this round. We got Deshaun Watson. We got Cam Newton, who I would love to get Cam Newton, but I think it's a little too early for quarterbacks. I will wait. If Cam somehow falls to the 5th, which he probably won't, I might consider taking him. But I think we already got our plan. We know what running backs we want to go for. So it's just a matter of waiting for our next pick, which is 14 picks away. So I will pause until we're within 3. All right, and we are back, and unfortunately Freeman just got taken, so that is a bummer. Ingram is still available. Lamar Miller is still available. I just can't justify taking Ingram, though, at this point, just because he's going to be, he's not available for the first 4 games. That's very dangerous. Derrick Henry is still available here, but remember, he wasn't offering great value. Lamar Miller offers value. All right. So he is a plotter. He's not my favorite choice, but I think he is a solid choice for our running back too. Again, you got to take what you can get. This is a 14-team league, so pickings are slim. So let's go ahead and we'll take him, and it'll be a short turnaround. So let's jump to the 5th round, maybe look at either a running back or a wide receiver. Now, we could get Ronald Jones here. He's offering the best value. Chris Hogan, I very much like him as a wide receiver too. Again, we don't need to worry about tight ends. Marshawn Lynch would also, I think, be a solid choice for our 3rd running back. And Mark Ingram might still be available. You know what? I would take him as my 3rd. In this, he would offer such tremendous upside once he comes back, and he is still available. So that is certainly an option. If he goes, I think we'll go wide receiver. So you got Tevin Coleman there too. But again, these guys at the bottom of the list are just not offering tremendously great value. They're actually not. They're okay. I would call them fair value. Down a little bit farther, these guys, I didn't want anything to do with them at this round. So let's see what happens. Again, we'll be, we're already within 2 of my next pick. So Ingram is still sitting there. And by the way, he does not have an injury designation. That is just merely because he's suspended. So again, he is perfectly healthy, and I would be happy to take him if we can get him. And we can get him. Oh, no. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I was misreading the top there. Mark Ingram, there he is. We'll take him as our 3rd. I think that's a coup right there. I think that is a fantastic running back core we've got right now. David Johnson, Lamar Miller, and Mark Ingram. Totally solid. So I think next round we definitely need to get ourselves a wide receiver. So let's kind of take a look at who is available. And if we're looking at wide receivers, not a ton of options here. Emmanuel Sanders, I just don't like his outlook right now. He does have high reliability, a decent consistency, but the outlook is just terrible. Now, if you want to find out, okay, why does he have that 1-star rating? Well, let's take a look. You just click on his name. It opens up a bunch of historic stats. You can look at his projections. But down here, it's the positive criteria and the negative criteria. So the positive criteria, it's a contract year next season, so that's 2019. high reliability, he's undervalued, and he has wide receiver flex volume. So those are all nice positive things. But let's look at the negatives. Downward trend. That means his opportunities have been declining for each of the past 3 years. You can see it went from 158 to 138 to 94. Same coach with a losing record. Wide receiver over age 30, which is -2. Playing with a new QB, -1. These are just too much to offset the positives about Emmanuel Sanders. So that's why he gets a poor outlook rating. I do like the idea of going with either Coop or Goodwin. I would actually prefer Goodwin because I think his upside is more than Kupp, because Kupp's now the number 3. Marquise is the number 2, but the person that's in front of him, Pierre Garçon, is also a receiver that's over the age of 32, has been injured a lot, and Marquise Goodwin has a really good relationship with Garoppolo. So I think he would be a solid choice. Oh, and Robbie Anderson right here. Look at this, 5-star, high reliability. Again, all these guys, fair value for Marquise, a little bit overvalued for Robbie Anderson, but I would take that as well. So I think we'll go Goodwin is our first choice. Anderson would be our second choice. Kupp would be our third choice. And we'll grab ourselves our second wide receiver. So I will pause until we're within 3 of our next pick. All right. So in the interim there, both Kupp and Anderson, Robbie Anderson, got taken. So Marquise Goodwin is still sitting there. And again, see, he's right with Pierre Garçon. I would much rather have Goodwin. Hopefully he makes it. And I do not like Michael Crabtree. So let's see what happens here. Please don't take my guy. Please don't take him. And he's thinking, because I'm just looking at the other running backs, the other wide receivers here. Will Fuller, no, I don't really like him. And Marquise Goodwin is still available. Awesome. So let's go ahead and we will take him. That's nice. So we got T.Y. Hilton, Marquise Goodwin are our wide receivers. So not bad. Actually, I'm kind of liking this team a lot. Now, we are approaching pick number 100. I think that's when we should take our quarterback, but we still have one more round. So let's go ahead and see if we can maybe get I would like to get maybe another running back if we can get a decent one. And look at that, Duke Johnson right at the top of the list. I think he would be a completely solid choice. 4-star outlook, 9 consistency, high reliability, and excellent value in relation to his expected draft position. So I think he is our number 1 target for this round. Other options, again, just not a lot of stuff. You find it tends to thin out. Nelson Aguilar is pretty good. Let's see here. Jordy just went, actually, and I don't like him anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so I think we're good. So let's target Duke on this next one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull him up. There he is. And again, the guy before me has taken his full allotment of time to make a selection. There we go, and we'll go ahead and we'll take Duke Johnson. And I'm just going to go ahead and filter for quarterbacks, because the next turn we will definitely take our quarterback. You can see there's still great quarterbacks on the board here. I always see this. The quarterback position is so darn deep, and I think by the time it gets to 109, we're going to get someone solid good. So let's actually go to the next round and see who we could expect to be available. So let's look at our quarterbacks. And you can see here Jared Goff. I'd love to have Jared Goff as our quarterback. I think he'd be great. 4-star outlook. Again, when it comes to quarterback, this consistency ranking is less important than with the other positions. I'm not really concerned that he only has a 2 consistency ranking. And of course you got Matt Ryan, who is a stalwart. Ben Roethlisberger is decent. But I think Jared Goff would be awesome. We can see who else is still available. We might get Mahomes. We might get Luck. I'm guessing they'll probably be gone, though, by the time it gets back to us. So I will pause until we're within 3, and we'll see what happens. All right, and we're almost back to my pick, and you can see there are still a tremendous number of quarterbacks still on the board. I don't think hardly any of them have been taken since I paused the thing, but I would love to have Rivers. I would love to have Luck. You know what? He's a top 5 quarterback when he's playing. Is he an injury risk? You bet he's an injury risk, but geez, he offers so much upside. Mahomes, upside. There's great options here. I will take Phillip Rivers first if he is still available. Because he has a lot. The unknowns on him are a lot less than with any other player, right? So there we go. He is still available. That is tremendous. So I will take Rivers. So we got our full lineup now set up with Phil Rivers as our quarterback, T.Y. Hilton and Marquise Goodwin as our wide receivers, David Johnson, Lamar Miller, and Mark Ingram as our running backs, although Ingram will be on the bench. Gronkowski is our tight end, and we do have Duke Johnson on the bench right now, so he would be our de facto flex player. So now we just need to start fleshing out the bench and getting some good players. So this is where my app really starts to shine, because when you get to these later rounds, you're not going to be as familiar with these players. You want to know who's the best option. And looking at the next round, who is our number 1 value option? Randall Cobb. And I do very much like his situation. It is a contract year for him. Look at his value relative to his expected draft position. He gets such a huge discount because he just hasn't been that good the past few years. Now, I'm not expecting a season like he had back in, 2014, when he just totally killed it. But he is the number 2 on this team. Jordy's no longer there, and he is playing with Aaron Rodgers. I would love to have him as our 3rd wide receiver, so that's a great choice. Below him, you have some good choices, but all these guys are injured right now, right? Kenny Stills, Devontae Parker, Marlon Mack seems to be getting he's like losing momentum. They're all talking about the rookie running back. I can't think of his name right now, but that's the guy I think I would target more than Marlon Mack. Marquise Lee, who actually played today, so I think that is a mistake. I got to check that injury designation. I would take that off. That probably would boost his value tremendously. We got Kenny Golladay, I'm not really interested in. Oh, and it's back to us. Let's go ahead and take Cobb. So, we're still on quarterbacks here. Let me go back to all players. Come on, let's do it quickly. There he is. Thank you very much. So that's a nice pick there. Let's move on to the 10th round. And let's see what we can get, right? That's what you got to look at. We're trying to find the best available. So now Marquise Lee is at the top. Now, okay, so Marquise Lee appeared in the 9th round, and he appeared on the 10th round. And what that means is he is right on the cusp of our next pick, right? So we have probably about a 50-50 chance to get him. I don't really consider him a high priority. You've got Rashard Matthews below him, who I would much rather have. Tyler Lockett, I'd much rather have. But let's take a look. Do we have any running backs that would be a good option? We got Bilal Powell and LeGarrette Blount. I'm just not thrilled with either of those. We'll look at what running backs are available, and if there is a decent one that we can grab, let's go ahead and grab him. But otherwise, I would very much like Rashard Matthews. I think Marquise Lee would be good as well. Or actually, no. Let's go Tyler Lockett, Rashard Matthews, Marquise Lee. Those would be my 3 choices for wide receiver. But we are going to have to wait here. I got 16 picks till my next turn, so I'm going to pause until we get within 3. All right, so we're back. So I've got it set to running back, so I wanted to see who's available. Chris Thompson is someone who I'm really not interested on because he's probably going to start the season out on the PUP list. But we got Peyton Barber here. We got Marlon Mack, who's still available. His stock is falling. But there's the other guy, Jordan Wilkins. He's the one that's getting all the buzz, the rookie. And we also got the rookie Nick Chubb at Cleveland, who I have not been impressed with as far as what he's been doing in the preseason. But I think, if we, again, this is our 5th running back, I think we can gamble. I would like to take a chance on Jordan Wilkins. I think that would be a great choice. He offers tremendous upside. And Marlon Mack, what is his injury again? Hamstring. Oh, hamstrings are the worst, man. You don't want running backs with hamstring issues. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll take Jordan Wilkins here. And then let's look at wide receivers for the next round. So I'm going to just jump back to my app. Let's go to the 11th round. Again, it's a quick turnaround here, so it's probably going to come back to us pretty quickly. Tyler Lockett is sitting at the top of the list. I do very much like that. I've already talked about him. It is a contract year for him. Seattle lost both Paul Richardson and Jimmy Graham, so I think Tyler would be a fantastic choice for our team. So let's see. He is still available. I love it. So we've got 3 picks till our next pick, and we will go ahead and we will select him. But let's see who else is available. And hopefully it will reset to all players. So you can see that, you still got Marlon Mack sitting there. We could go with both of them. But quite frankly, I like Tyler Lockett at this point of the draft. So let's go ahead and we will take him. And we are just cruising along. So let's go to the 12th round. Now, this is a 15-round draft, but it is a 14-team league. So I'm going to want to take a look at what defenses are probably available, because this would probably be a good time to take a defense. And let's see here. Not really loving any of those. Is there anything else that might be better? I think we definitely should take a defense with our next pick, because, I want nothing to do with Seattle. Of this group, you got to look at who'd be quality, right? Atlanta Falcons will field a quality team. Cardinals will probably be pretty good on defense as well. I think those would be the 2 that I would pick. It's always kind of a crapshoot. I always like to look at who they're playing in the first couple of weeks, and I pick the one that has the best matchups. But I think definitely let's take a defense on this next pick. We got 15 picks until it happens, so I will pause until we're within 50. All right, we're back, and so you can see here, Carolina's still on the board. Oh, that just got taken. Kansas City, I'm not really thrilled with. So we were talking Atlanta. I think we should go with that. That seems like a pretty decent choice here, and it is almost our pick. There we go. So we will take Atlanta, and now we have 2 more bench slots to fill. So we are now in round 13. So let's see who's the best available at this point of the draft. So again, pickings are a little thin down here. Now James White might be a great option here. You could never tell with New England running backs, but I think he would be a great option. He did really good in the preseason, week 2. And with the fact that both Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead are dealing with injuries, that's a positive thing. So I do like the idea of taking him. Martavis Bryant, he has not been doing great. I've been downgrading his outlook because of that. He has not been doing well in Oakland, so I think we should just steer clear of him. Let's see here. We go with a second tight end, Hayden Hurst. Actually, even though he only gets a 2-star outlook, it's just because it's low volume. But Baltimore has always featured the tight end. He's getting high praise. So let's go. But let's see if let's go with James White. Let's see if he's still available. Oh shoot. Come on. There he is. Awesome. Go ahead and take him. All right, and we'll probably get one more wide receiver just to kind of fill this team out. And so let's take a look here at wide receivers in the 14th round. So you can see there's James White again. So we probably could have waited on him. But Terrell Williams, actually, I think that'd be a good choice. Let's see here. Ben Watson. We don't need another tight end. Forget about that. Let's see here. We wanted to get a second quarterback. Jameis Winston would actually not be a bad choice. Actually, I think we should probably do that. Let's go. Let's get the best available quarterback that we can get for the end of the draft here, because again, it's going to be much thinner should something happen to our quarterback. But you can see, there's Dalton, there's Winston, Tannehill, Flacco I don't want anything to do with. And then you got some of the rookies down here. I don't really want them either. But what I'll do is I'll pause until we're within 3. We'll take our last quarterback, and then we will kind of see how we did. All right, we're almost back. No one's taking any quarterbacks, so we'll get one of these 3 guys. I think any one of them will be fine. Just have to wait for Tram to make his pick, and then these 2 guys will just be auto-picked, so I think we'll be good. And, of course, he's going to take his full 30 seconds. He just can't help himself. So, there we go. And so I think I'm going to go with Winston, just because I think he offers more upside than either Dalton or Tannehill once he comes back. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab him. And it'll take just a second. There we go. We'll draft Jameis Winston. I will go ahead and I'll take a kicker with my final pick, and then we will see how Yahoo rated this draft. But I think it looks pretty good so far. All right, so the draft just concluded, and here's the team we ended up with. So for quarterback, we have Phillip Rivers, and we have Jameis Winston, backing him up. For wide receivers, we have T.Y. Hilton, Marquise Goodwin, Randall Cobb, Tyler Lockett, and then for running backs, we've got David Johnson, Lamar Miller, Mark Ingram, Jordan Wilkins, and James White. Our tight end is Rob Gronkowski. Our defense is Atlanta, and our kicker is Ryan Succop of Tennessee, who I think is going to be a great offense this year. So hopefully there'll be lots of opportunities for him to score points. So overall, I'm very happy with this team. I'm interested to see how Yahoo and Fantasy Pros rates it. So I will come back when I get those results. And boom, this is how you do it. Look at the score Yahoo gave me. A+ on this team. So they love it. Let's look at the Fantasy Pros. What do they say? Number 1 team. And not just the number 1 team, but my score is 50 points better than number 2. All right. So I just annihilated this draft. And again, it's my app that helped me find the right players at the right time, right? That was what it did. So please go to my website, ffmaverick.com. Go check out the app. You can check it out for free. If you like it, you can subscribe to it, get full access to all the features of the app. But this is the difference it can make for your fantasy season, all right? So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to my page here on YouTube. And happy drafting, everybody. I'm real happy right now. I'll see you later.